Right, gents, we are back in another episode presented to you by Bollock Studios, where football nutmegs the nonsense. So, hey, Kuan, how's things been? All okay? How's your week been?
Week has been good. Things has been good. Everything is good.
Nice to know, man. So today we just want to cover some of the interesting talking points across the European Cup competitions as a whole, yeah, and of course touching on some of the EPL matches, covering more points as well on what's been happening for the past week and stuff like that. So hey, let's get into it, man. So after a while, if you ask me, 3 English teams reaching the respective European Cup finals, man. We have from Arsenal in the Champions League finals, we have Aston Villa in the Europa, and we have Crystal Palace, man. Is it their first time, I think, Crystal Palace reaching a European finals? Wow. I think it's crazy, man. And I also like to think that, look, is this sparking dominance? I want to hear from you, man.
Well, first of all, I don't know why it's not being spoken in the media. Arsenal can potentially win the double, so let's put that out there. So they're like 3 games away. And they did well against Atletico, very cagey match and all these things. But they were very composed and good. So and then there is Palace as well. But you know what's the irony of it? There's 2 things I want to talk about. First is basically, did you know that Palace was supposed to be in Europa and Nottingham was supposed to be in? I mean, probably not even the conference as well because of Palace owners. Multiple clubs, which is against UEFA rules, so they had to be relegated to play the conference. And Forest now in the Europa Cup final as well. So it's incredible, right? To think of it. So do you think that the English dominance is because that the Premier League clubs are actually superior compared to the all other non-English leagues in the world?
Yes, they have been one of the most impactful. Let's put it that way. In the name of the intensity of the Premier League itself as a whole, it's the world's most watched league, right? Hence, probably I would like to think their intensity is superior, right? And it's European dominance. Yeah, you can see off late, this past few seasons, how many English teams have reached post quarterfinals, So that clearly shows, that's probably one of the reasons why they have been dominating. There's always English teams there. So again, no disrespect to Italian and Spanish leagues and other leagues, yeah. No disrespect, but in comparison, it's far more superior. That's my thought on it.
I read somewhere, I can't pinpoint where I read it, but then what I read, the article is simply about telling that the comparison of the monetary comparison and also the level of play comparison, when the top 10 English team or the top, you can go further, the top 15 English team, if you put that any of the other leagues across Europe, from the lowest league in Europe, from Azerbaijan and Turkey, and then you go forward to your La Liga and Syria, apparently they would dominate those leagues. The top until up to the 15th position of the in terms of monetary stature. I mean, I think it's great for Premier League, but I'm not sure it's good for generally the leagues overall in Europe in that sense, because it's always the Premier League which is be dominating. So you will never get anything close. So I mean that's the thing we're talking about. I mean, you have to consider another thing. When you look at Nottingham Forest and Palace, they are also in the lower tables of the. They're not doing well in the EPL actually, but they are in the finals, in the exception of Arsenal,
Exactly.
which also, and like last season, Spurs were in a relegation zone and yet they win the Europa finals. I mean,
I was about to bring that up as well. I agree. So
coming to relegation battle now. So so we have seen what happened to the Premier League's relegation battle. We had quite a number of clubs where 40 points is not enough now, and we saw West Ham losing ground to Arsenal. We should go to Arsenal a bit more. But what about Spurs, man?
If you ask me, speaking of the relegation battle, if the aim for Roberto De Zerbi's Spurs is to save them from relegation. Does that make Roberto De Zerbi a survival specialist manager? Perhaps, right? Because by the looks of it, looking in these past 2 to 3 matches, right, Spurs undergoing a resurgence now under Roberto De Zerbi, because it's a bit different now when you watch them play, It's a whole new vibe. The way they are playing more, there is more cohesion now, right? Comparatively to yes, no disrespect to Thomas Frank when he took charge of Spurs, and of course, and interim manager Igor Tudor. Spurs need to do now. It's basically both games they need to win. Period. I mean, look, man, both teams, as long as they win or they draw until the last 2 games, Tottenham survive, and then I would probably echo what you said, Bang. It's a clean slate. New season, new philosophy, new tactics, and let's go all out. So now looking at it, I would probably change my narrative now and say that I think Spurs can do it. So that's just my level of confidence I have, man. I mean, again, we've spoken about how good
So,
Roberto De Zerbi is and all that. So yeah, man, you tell me.
so first of all, I need to mention this. I think now the relegation battle is between only Tottenham and West Ham, because Spurs draw with Leeds. So effectively removing Leeds, Palace and Nottingham Forest from the
Yep.
relegation battle as well.
Yep.
So now it depends on the next 2 matches actually. And I do feel that they are returning players for Spurs. James Madison is back.
Yep.
But at the same time, though Spurs won they draw the last match and then they won the previous 2 matches, there's some progress. But this is what happens to relegation teams lah.
Yeah.
This is, so I don't know. As I mentioned before, I'm not sure whether is it lucrative or not for them to stay in the league or for them to get relegated and clear out, because they have a lot of players which are, probably would say not good for the club. There are a lot of injury crises. Xavi Simons got injured recently, so I don't know how it's like. And though I said before that De Zerbi is not a relegation specialist, but then if you're a good manager, you are supposed to be doing. You must be able to bring them out of relegation. That's what you are. Good managers in whatever situation they do well. There's no such thing as you are only a manager for relegation clubs or
Mm-hmm.
mid-table clubs
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot, right? I think that this is a good sign that De Zerbi is there as an elite manager, and let's see what he does. And so I want to segue from relegation to championship to the title challenge.
Ooh.
So
You see City beating Palace. What a masterclass from Phil Foden. Wow, that back heel assist and that second goal, he even assisted as well. Wow, I think as I've said before, right, that what a player he is. So in addition as well to Manchester City, there were some moments in the league where, yes, they kind of did fall a bit short with the points gap was so large and all, and look how they have come back, right? Yes, we have covered in our previous spot that, the mid-season signings that really made a lot of difference, right? And look at now how close they have tightened the gap. They start to fumble, they tighten the gap, right? I mean, we have spoken about this. So, and looking at how they have come so close, right? That's why I said it before. The title race have become a pressure cooker, So it clearly shows how strong and how dominant they have also become, and now they are frightening the team above them in the league. Right? I know I have said it. I have been always rooting for Arsenal to win the league, but I tell you, it will be a joke if they don't win the league. Yes, I can also accept they can potentially do the double, beating PSG in the Champions League and the next 2 games that Arsenal wins, and they win the league, right? So, but speaking of Arsenal, what is your thoughts on the VAR controversy on this match? Because it's a repetitive thing that has happened. So I want to get your thoughts on that foul that was committed. That disallowed West Ham's goal.
okay, so before I go to the controversial, the most important VAR decision of the Premier League lah. So Well, the match was amazing to watch. It was very cagey. Raya made some of the most important save he'll ever make in his entire life, like ever. Matthews Fernandez could have taken the lead in the beginning, had a brilliant chance. And at the 82nd minute, Trossard scored the goal. So I thought it was done and dusted,
Mm-hmm.
which means that uh, if West Ham would have drawn this game, they would have been a better chance of surviving relegation. But the game was immense when the blocks, when how West Ham was knocking on the door and
I
everything like that.
agree.
And when the goal entered, my first instinct will happen so fast. I'm not going to lie and say that I saw everything happen and everything, but my suspicion was that I knew the goal entered. But I was not sure whether it's legal or not. I was not because
Mm-hmm.
how VAR interprets it.
Mm-hmm.
Because in my opinion, there is a lot of games, especially Arsenal, who have harassed the keeper to score their goals.
Mm-hmm.
So in my football brains, for me, this is a foul. But the fact that this has been given many times, I mean, I know that against Manchester United, they got a goal, something like that. Against Newcastle United, they got a goal, something like that. And this time the VAR, rightly so, they ruled it out as foul on Raya because the hand was going on. But the thing is that why is the VAR decision being like a foul now and not before? So this is the problem. I think by now we would have seen all the coverage. I know Greg Burley has said that Arteta is a hypocrite. Yes, of course he is. Every manager is a hypocrite. They whatever is in favor of them, it's great. Whatever is not in favor of them, is not great. So that's beyond the point. But we have seen throughout the web that it's a controversy because of the consistency. So I think in next season, the PGMOL will be coming up with more rules about what happens in the penalty box. To be honest with you, I do not like this corner stuff actually. I really cannot handle it as much.
Correct.
You are setting up a precedence in football where you can try and see what happens. There's no clear cut that the keeper has to be protected, the pushing and huffling and I mean, this Stoke City, Sam Allardyce, this is what it is now. The Premier League and Arsenal is largely to be blamed for this. So yeah, even if they win the league,
Yep. Yep.
which is fine, but we will always put the caveat: it's Stoke football. It's Stoke winning the Premier League. It's the because this. I'm sure Arsene Wenger will not be. I mean, Arsenal winning the cup. I mean, the fans will say we don't care. We want the EPL, but
Yep. Yep.
we will always. There are people always put in record how
How did
this
they win
EPL
it?
was won.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. So, but then again, I mean, diving a bit deeper about this, this VAR controversy on the keeper, right? Yeah, previous episodes we have spoke about it, how you outbeat certain movements or when there's a like what you were telling, right? But in general, right? Yeah, but there's multiple ways to look at it, right? Yes, as a keeper, if I'm wearing a football fan hat and I'm watching that, I think it was a soft foul. But rules are rules, right? So of course the grip on the arm.
You really think the Rashford was a soft foul?
I think it was soft, really. I think it was soft. Look, yeah, but again, so going a bit more deeper, you can talk about the grip on the arm, right? So, which questions the on-field referee, right? How much authority does Chris Kavanagh? Was it Chris Kavanagh? I think yeah, Chris Kavanagh was the referee for that match, and
Yeah.
I questioned his authority. And this is a similar referee who has made mistakes in the past, right? So anyway, so the grip on the arm. So VAR studio, here in England, he noted that Pablo didn't just bump into Raya. Apparently, he clamped his hand around Raya. So hence I mentioned that point just now, right? And then another thing where, of course, PJMOL chief Howard Webb, right? 12, and he explained that the the high threshold for fouls that still allows contact but impeding a goalkeeper's arm is a categorical foul. Okay, ruling, fair enough, right? Because it kind of prevents them from performing their job. But again, as a keeper, deal with it, man. And again, this similar consistency of errors that has happened in previous matches. I mean, these are for viewers and for fans to go and backtrack and look at the inconsistencies, right? These are things that have happened before. Why weren't there any fouls? But why is it when it's Arsenal, the foul was given, and the goal was disallowed. I think it was a marvelous goal Callum Wilson scored, right, to equalize. Yeah. So, but again, once again, speaking of the chronological order, where even a former referee, right, Dermo Gallagher, so I think he pointed out that Arsenal players like Trossard he was also grappling, right, and the foul. And apparently the foul on the goalkeeper happened first, which is why that apparently became obvious that it was more impactful. Hence, it led to the foul and the goal was disallowed. So, yeah, you touched on stricter rules and all that stuff. But come on, man. At the end of the day, as fans have called more transparency, right? You realize that now referees are announcing. But where's the consistency? I am still questioning. That's just how I look at it, man.
I think it's a work in progress. And the thing is that even if you look at the foul, right, VAR actually had to ask Chris Kavanagh to come and see on the screen. You should already know it's a foul, LG. Why do you need the referee to come and see? But anyway, let's put it in the past. The most important VAR decision ever, and I like to give credit to Arsenal defenders who, before the goal, they were defending very well. Raya made incredible save. Odegaard make a big difference, and Trossard scoring that goal. All this is what the Premier League is all about. And let's see what happens in the next few games. It's all about the title race when it comes to the Premier League and football sports and the relegation battles, and of course the European Cups as well. So talking about the European Cups, European leagues elsewhere, actually, not the European Cups. So Barcelona clinched the La Liga for the second time. Rashford, oh my God.
Wow.
Did you see the free?
I saw that. Amazing, man.
And the best part is when they interviewed Ferran Torres, they said that Rashford didn't want to take the free kick because though he was practicing, he didn't want to take, and the team pushed him to take it actually. So now my question to you: Rashford has won the La Liga. He is a proper league champion actually. Which he likely, not likely, he definitely never tastes this kind of success in Manchester United, and likely won't ever as well. Dad, do I say that actually? So, my question is, as a Manchester United fan, do you want to have him back in the club?
For the greater,
yes or no first?
Okay, for the greater good, no. For the greater good of both ends. I'm not saying this because he's a bad player. In my opinion, he is not a bad player, but is or are systems limiting Marcus Rashford's capabilities, right? Is it that when you strict him to a certain system to only play that style, and then you don't get the best out of him? And fans being fans, yes, we will criticize. Yes, we have had a fair bit of opinions. Oh, he doesn't track back. Oh, this Marcus Rashford, he doesn't, defend. He can't play and all that. He's not releasing the ball and all that stuff, right? But you see how his resurgence have taken place in Barcelona, right? So is it the freedom that was given to him to play at his best, which is what's resulting to him now being a La Liga? He's won the La Liga, man, although being on loan. So and so hence I say it's a resurgence for him and for the greater good of the player. Is he a bad player? No, he's not a bad player. I have not said he's a bad player. So to answer you, it's a no. It will be no for him to return back to United because I agree with you. I don't think in his lifetime he's going to win the Premier League with United. He is not going to win it. And he has done it in La Liga with Barcelona. Does he work as a squad player, let alone a first team choice and all that? Is he a player that creates depth? Yes, he is. But if he's going to come in, if he's going to return back to United, is he going to be a first choice? Probably not. Is he going to be a squad player? Does he want that? Maybe not. So for the greater good of the player, he should go. Even if it's not Barcelona, any other Spanish team, he should go. And he should go. Right? Yeah, that's how I see it, man. And he's gonna achieve greater heights. So yeah.
So for me, the way I see it, regardless of the money and all these things, well, I mean, it's always race. I mean, it's a big club, right? So they could afford for sure. He is going to slot in on the left left center,
Yes.
left wing so much more easy. Cunha position, he's going to take over. So it's a matter of confidence actually whether it starts or not, or whether personally
Mm-hmm.
wants him or not.
Mm-hmm.
But having said that, Barcelona wants him, but then they can't afford him. On the other hand, the difference between Barcelona and Real Madrid, Barcelona is it's a family which has financial problems,
Yep.
debts all around and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Real Madrid is a rich family which can afford anyone, but they don't want to listen to father lah. So, uh, so it is player power. They got Alonso out. Mbappe has to be pointed out as being one of well, he has won nothing at club level except for the French league.
Yep.
He has missed out in 2 finals with PSG. Of course, he won the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But that is another story. The young, but he didn't win the World Cup based on his how to say. He's not the biggest player in that French squad who won the World Cup. He was a small kid at the time. Yeah. So that French team had a lot of amazing player in the form of Kante, Pogba, Matuidi, Griezmann,
Yes.
Giroud. So he, as the small boy of the team, he scored goals, but then he won it. But then in the last World Cup, he scored a hat trick, but he still lost the World Cup. And when you come and play to a club of Real Madrid and you don't win the title for 2 years, and then you also disrespect a legendary coach, the onus is on you. So I would blame Real Madrid failures on the spoiled boys who cannot win a match of football, and they should have drawn the game or beat Barcelona on that game. Barcelona beat them in the Nou Camp and won the title in front of them. I don't know
Yes.
what else motivation
Correct.
they need. So I think we have covered a lot of things already. So, ladies and gentlemen, lads and lasses, we will see you next week for more football content. Please like, subscribe, and comment. What do you think about our thoughts as well? Please criticize us, and we can improve.
Yeah, man.
We got a lot of comments in the last episode. We are very thankful for those as well, and we hope to see more. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks
Adios,
very much.
everybody.
Peace out. Cheers.